Hello everyone, I am Shubham Panchal. Today we will talk about TurboGears web framework, which is written in Python language. So today we will go with this document. First, the detail about TurboGears. So we'll read it. TurboGears is a Python application framework which consists of many modules. TurboGears are designed to make rapid web application development in Python easier and more supportable. TurboGears is a web application framework written in Python. TurboGears follows the model view controller pedagogy as do most modern web frameworks like Rails, Django, and Struct, etc. So, model view controller, which is a software design pattern commonly used for the developing user interface that divide the related uh, program logic into three intermediate elements. So the next point is the TurboGear 2 is built on top of the experience of several next generation web framework including TurboGears 1, Django and Rails. All of these framework had limitations that frustrated us and TurboGear 2 was built as an answer to that frustration. So nowadays we will use the TurboGears 2 which is a latest version of TurboGear framework. These features about TurboGears. So first feature is start as a micro framework and scale up to the full stack solution. So we will use as a micro means a limited some very few code of the lines of TurboGears is usually in the Python language, and we will go with a full stack solution means the we will use most of the code of TurboGears in Python means uh, 70 to 80% code in the TurboGears framework. कोड that is natural as writing a function means जो कोड होता है वो TurboGears का वो very easy to write and understandable होता है. A powerful and flexible object relational mapper with real multi-database support. Object relational mapper which is one method to connect the code with our relational database. वो एक पाथ प्रोवाइड करता है हमारे कोड को और द रिलेशनल डेटाबेस को जोड़ने के लिए. Support for the horizontal data partitioning, which is called sharding, means the TurboGears हमारे डेटाबेस में जो डेटा होता है वो टेबल के फॉर्म में जो डेटा होता है उसको लाइन बाय लाइन डिवाइड कर सकता है हॉरिजॉन्टली. A new widget system to make a building Ajax heavy aperture. Ajax means the synchronization of JavaScript and the XML to make a attractive template, attractive interface. Support for multiple data exchange format. Built is a extensibility, pluggable application, and standard web server gateway interface with key components with WSGI. A web server gateway interface means it's provide a uh, easier way to publish our application. In today market, some servers are not. Uh, it's not very useful for publish our application. Risky servers has provides the easier way and a very comfortable way to publish our application. TurboGears is designer-friendly template system, great for the programmers. First, we will installing the TurboGears. To install the TurboGears, is this statement. Today, we will see the Hello World program in the TurboGears framework. So TurboGears has a minimal mode that makes it possible to create single file application quickly. A simple example and the services can be built quickly with minimal set of dependency. Means very easily single file application बना सकते हैं. Application class in the TurboGear application is inherited from the TurboGear controller class, TG controller class. Method in this class are available for access by @expose means इसके @expose की मदद से हम मेथड को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं TurboGears में. इसको हम TurboGears मॉड्यूल से ही डेकोरेटर करेंगे फॉर्म मीन्स के इंपोर्ट करेंगे. In our first application, index method is mapped as a root of our application. Means हम index method का use करेंगे in this application. The TurboGears controller plus also needs to be imported from TurboGear module. To create TurboGears application, we need a configurator, application configurator, and root controller. The configurator will set up and create the TurboGear application itself. मीन्स वो टर्बोगेयर एप्लीकेशन वो खुद से ही क्रिएट कर लेगा. while the controller will be in charge of the dispatching and receive requests and taking the action. For convenience, we will use a minimal application and configurator which provide a minimal set of components that your application will survey need to work like routing. For our first application, we are going to define a controller with an index method that just tells hello world turbo gears. हम hello world turbo gears लिखेंगे इन प्रोग्राम में. Just create a new tgapp.file and declare your controller. मीन्स आपको tg app करके एक फाइल बनानी है, .py करके एक फाइल बनानी है अपना IDE में for writing our code. First hello world code. So we will import the from TurboGears expose method, and we will declare the tg controller class and use the this index method, and we will return our hello world TurboGears. The next, set the application configuration and declare the application object. The app config class constructor has takes two parameters: minimal attribute set to true and controller class. So you can see in this code the make a whiskey app function here construct an application object. So this this statement function is create an web application. In order to serve this application, we now need to start the HTTP server. As mentioned earlier, we shall use the simple server module and WhiskeyRef package to set up and start it. This module has make server method which requires port number and application object as the argument. So this is port number and requires ports. It means that our application is going to be served at port number 8080 of localhost. And following is the complete code of the first TurboGear application. So this is our first application which is shows the hello world turbo gears. So that's it for today.